right, Coach, kind of a nice week for your team last week outside maybe the one setback on Sunday. Just kind of talk to me about maybe what you liked about the week and maybe some things that you didn't like that you want to work on this week.
A couple of good things was, for the most part, offensively, it was a pretty good week. Definitely the first three games. Moorhead, we did a good job putting pressure on them every inning. And then the first two games of the BG series on Friday, more of the same, where we did a really good job of putting pressure every inning. Some innings we got the big hit, some innings we didn't, but we were still able to score. I don't know what it was, 17 or 18 runs on the day in the doubleheader. So that was definitely a good thing. Sunday was frustrating for sure. That was a frustrating game. Bowling Green, I would say, played better than we played bad. It wasn't like we set baseball back in any way by losing that game, but still frustrating that we lost a game that we needed to win. I think that's a game where if we play it a little better, we can probably win that game 2-1. But it's going to be a pitcher's duel either way. Unfortunately, we gave up the 3-run inning in the second or third inning, whatever it was, and we had a tough time getting back into the game. Their pitchers did a really nice job. I didn't have, early in the season we talked a lot about how sloppy our at-bats were. I didn't feel that on Sunday. I didn't think it was terrible at-bats. Their pitcher did a nice job keeping us off balance. We had some scoring opportunities. We had guys on second base, I think four different times where we didn't get the hit to get them in. We did obviously in one other instance get the big hit. But we had opportunities to get back in that game, didn't capitalize on them, and it's frustrating. But we got to get back to work and get ready to attack it this week.
Starting this week with the final midweeks of the year, with Louisville on today, number 2 team in the country. Kind of talked about that the opportunity kind of gives your team to maybe get like a springboard going to the conference weekend, just kind of getting to play a team like this.
Well, excited to play Louisville. They're a good team. I'm sure they'll have a nice crowd there. They play baseball really well. But we're going down there to beat them. We're not going down there to take pictures of the stadium or anything else. They're not going to teach us how to play baseball down there today. We're going down there to beat Louisville, and anytime you get to play a ranked opponent, it's exciting. I know for us, I think it was dating back 3 or 4 years now, but it was Seth Varner beat Louisville on a Friday night. I think they were ranked 6th in the country at that time. That was a huge win for our program that year. That team, I think what you just said, it kind of springboarded us into the second half of our season. We won we went on about a 10-game win streak to end that year, and certainly that would be a good thing if we could do that this year. That would be great, and if Louisville can provide us that opportunity, that would be outstanding.
Obviously, Bailey Martin getting the start tonight. Just kind of talk to me. The decision behind that obviously has been really great for you guys the last couple times. A couple times you guys have rolled him out.
Well, yeah, it's pretty easy to throw Bailey out there after what he's done the last couple times. We talked about it going into last week. Moorhead State was however many statistics they led the country in offensively, and Bailey goes out there and throws 7 scoreless innings or six scoreless innings, threw the ball really well, and we ended up getting a shutout that game. So obviously there was nothing we saw there that didn't think that Bailey could handle whatever the next opportunity was, and that's tonight with Louisville.
And then Butler on Wednesday. Last year, kind of a team that struggled, only had 14 wins. This year, kind of a bounce-back season for them. Just kind of talk to me about, final midweek, maybe if there's some tune-up, maybe you play with stuff a little more. Do you just want to kind of maybe keep the guys rolling going into the weekend?
Well, there's gonna be some pitchers that haven't thrown in a little bit pitching that game. With the guys that we say it all the time, that we go through some weekends without using some of these guys, but we're not going to be able to win a tournament without using them. So this will be a good opportunity for some of those guys to show us that they belong, and they should get a bigger role, and this is their opportunity to earn that against Butler on Wednesday. And then offensively, it's keep doing what we have done well for the better part of the last 2 weeks, which is put pressure on teams every inning, try to avoid those quiet innings where we go 3 outs real quick, whether it's 3 outs and 4 or 5 hitters, trying to avoid those innings and put pressure on them, and eventually we're going to break through and maybe get the big inning, but if not, maybe we score 2 runs, 1 run every inning, and either way we can put up some runs at the end of the game.
And this weekend, Buffalo, obviously, we know how hard they're going to fight, knowing what they're playing for. Kind of everyone's kind of thick in terms of the standings there in the East. Just kind of talk to me about what you know about Buffalo and what you want to see out of the guys this weekend.
Well, I'm just on a separate note a little bit. I'll be excited to see Buffalo and Ron, their coach, and all those guys are dealing with a really unfortunate circumstance, which is their program cutting, or their university cutting their program. That's a dangerous team to play, no matter when you find them in the season this year. But obviously they're playing their second to last weekend of conference baseball at the school they chose to go to out of high school. And a lot of those guys are looking for new places to play. A lot of those guys are finishing up their baseball career at Buffalo. And more than anything, I feel really sorry for the circumstance that they're in. But obviously it's a big weekend for us too, and we got to go out there and play as good a baseball as we can, and hopefully get 2 or 3 wins this weekend, because that's it's a necessity for us to do that.
All right, thank you, Coach. Good luck this week.
Yeah, thank you.